Good evening, everyone. Reverend Carlisle, President of the Winston-Salem Forsyth County branch of the NAACP. Okay. All right, I'm trying. Can everybody hear me? Forward together. All right. Listen, I want to thank everyone who has come out today on the behalf of 22 million Americans. I want to thank you for being here. On the behalf of 1.3 million North Carolinians who will lose their health coverage, I want to thank you all for being here. For the poor and the needy who will lose over $800 billion in Medicaid expansion over the next 10 years, I want to thank all of you for being here. For the poor, for children who will have no access to health care, I want to thank all of you all for being here today. Today we're here to continue to allow our voices to be heard, to continue to let our senator, our duly elected senator who was sworn in to serve the people of North Carolina, we are here to let our voices be heard and to not ask but demand that he vote no. Yes. That's right. That he votes no to this new Senate health care bill. Too many lives are at stake. We no longer can put profit over people. We can no longer stand by idly while this extremist government, this extremist legislature continue to pass legislation that profits the rich, that profits the affluent, and pushes the most poor, the most seriously affected people to the side. So I appreciate all of you all for being here today. This time we're going to receive Miss Daphne Holmes Johnson. She would MC our gathering for today. Come on, brothers and sisters, put your hands together.
Good evening. Good evening. I bring you greetings on behalf of the North Carolina NAACP State Conference, where Reverend Dr. William Burr is our president. And I'd like to open up with a quote from our North Carolina State Conference president. We have a missing senator in North Carolina. Senator Burr, you voted no for 2 African-American women to be on the federal court system. You voted no for repealing the Voter Act. We're asking you to vote no and make it count on the repeal and replace the American Care Health Care Act. We want you to vote no on that appeal. We came to you, we called your office, we have tried to communicate with you, we wish to speak with you. You have 30% of your constituents that are part of that 1,348,300,000 folk that will be affected by you if you decide to repeal and replace the Affordable Care Act. We want you to vote no. We wish to speak with you. You will not answer our calls. You have told us in the newspaper that you advised us that you were going to vote to repeal the Affordable Care Act. We ask you to make your no count, and we ask you to show up for North Carolina.
Yeah. Show up! Yeah.
Right now, we have speakers that are impacted by this. I want to honor the groups that are here with us today. We have Women of Action. We have the Indivisibles of Winston-Salem and Concord. We have the young folks with the Word Society and Arthur in Action. Yes. Senator Burr, we all wish to speak to you.
That's right.
Our first speaker will be Christy Robertson, who is a mother who's impacted. And she is the co-founder of Women of Action in Winston-Salem for children who need Medicaid. Christy Robinson?
Yeah, just yeah.
Christy!
Pick up, baby! Yeah.
We are here today because we are deeply disturbed about the current health care bill in the U.S. Senate.
Yeah.
As it is written, this bill drastically cuts Medicaid, ends Medicaid expansion, and removes protection against annual and lifetime caps.
That's right.
2/3 of North Carolinians on Medicaid are children.
Yes.
So a large cut to Medicaid equates to a large cut to children's health care.
Go ahead.
Denying health care is not the North Carolina way.
That's right. Yeah. Tell me.
We are asking you to stand up for the people of North Carolina and vote no on the proposed Senate bill. Caitlin and Lena are 2 toddlers born with serious illnesses that require extensive medical care. This is how God made them. I highlight these 2 little girls to illustrate the ways in which the current Senate bill would cripple the lives of millions of children. Senator Burr, this is the face of a child who would suffer under annual and lifetime insurance caps.
Tell it. Tell it.
This is the face of Medicaid. These are the faces of the future. This 1-year-old Lena, she's a 1-year-old that was born with cystic fibrosis, a progressive genetic disorder that causes persistent lung infection and limits her ability to breathe over time. There is no cure.
All right.
Her parents have private insurance and still pay thousands of dollars a month out of pocket. Lena's prescription medications alone cost $300,000 per year.
Whoa.
Enacting annual and lifetime caps would leave Lena with inadequate and unaffordable health coverage. Lena and all children require consistent and affordable health care. Senator Burr, look at Lena's face.
Look at it.
Look at her mother's face.
That's right.
Do not vote for annual and lifetime caps for Lena.
That's right.
Do not make them pick and choose when they
That's
should
right.
go to the doctor.
That's right.
This 2-year-old is Caitlin. She is the face of Medicaid. Caitlin was born with a very rare syndrome that caused her facial paralysis and doesn't allow her to swallow.
Wow.
Although Caitlin's family has good insurance, it does not cover her extensive medical bills, which
All
cost
right.
hundreds of thousands of dollars per year. Caitlin's family is dependent on Medicaid for her around-the-clock nursing care. Without Medicaid, medically fragile children like Caitlin would suffer and be institutionalized. The most vulnerable children are the ones
That's
most
right.
likely to suffer because of Medicaid cuts.
That's right.
Senator Burr, look at Caitlin's face. Please do not vote to cut Medicaid and take Caitlin away from her family
That's right.
and her home.
That's
right.
right.
Senator Burr, these are the
Yeah.
children of the future. The CBO reported that in 10 years, 22 million people will not have health care under the proposed Senate bill. In 10 years, these children will all still be children.
That's right.
Do not pick and choose who has access to health care and who does not. On June 28th of this year, you wrote me this letter, Senator Burr.
All
You
right.
stated, and I quote, healthcare legislation should include protections for individuals with pre-existing conditions
That's right.
and policies that strengthen and support North Carolina Medicaid.
That's right.
The Senate's healthcare bill does not meet the requirements that
Tell it.
you set forth yourself.
That's right. Tell it.
Senator
Tell it.
Burr, stand by your words.
Yeah.
Senator Burr, look at our faces. Look at the faces of our children and our
Look at these
future.
faces.
Yeah. Look at them.
Do not vote to cut Medicaid and end expansion.
That's right.
Do not vote to cap annual and lifetime insurance spending.
That's right.
I urge you to work across the aisle to reform the Affordable Care Act and continue to move forward
Yeah.
securing affordable health care for all Americans.
Yeah. That's right. Yeah.
Senator Burr, this is your legacy. Make your legacy about humanity.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. Way to go. Way to go. Out. Out. That's right.
Thank you, Christy, so much. Many of us are impacted by your vote no. Show up. We're here.
That's right.
Where are you?
Yeah, where are you?
Where are you? Show
Where
up.
are you, Burr?
Right now, we are going to be graced with a song by a songstress, Deborah Patterson Miles.
Oh.
Following Deborah, we will have Leslie Boyd, who her son died due to a lack of Medicaid.
All right. Come on, Deborah. Sing, lady, sing.
Sing it.
Precious Lord,
Yeah.
take my hand, lead me on,
Sing, girl.
help me stand.
Go ahead, go ahead.
I am tired.
Yeah.
I am weak.
Yes, yes.
And
Yes,
yeah.
Yes.
through the storm,
Go ahead.
through the night,
Yeah.
lead me on through the light.
Yeah.
Take my hand,
Yes, yes,
precious Lord, and lead your children on.
Hallelujah, hallelujah. All right.
Oh, yeah.
Beautiful.
Leslie Boyd.
Leslie.
Let's go.
Hey, good evening, everyone.
Let's go.
Good evening.
This photo is my son. It's all I have left of him. Because 9.5 years ago, my son died because a birth defect was a pre-existing condition. He couldn't get the care he needed. And when I tell Republicans about this, you want to know what their first question is?
Yeah.
Come on.
It's not, how can this happen in the 21st century?
All right.
It's, was he working?
My God.
Now, I want to know when unemployment became punishable by death in
That's
this country.
right. That's right.
Tell me, when was that added to the penal code?
That's right.
I don't remember it. And, oh, that sun is just in my eyes. I'm sorry. My son was a decent human being.
Yeah.
He was in school. He was going to be a lawyer. He was going to work for legal aid. He never finished school.
My Lord.
He was working. He was a full-time student. He was a community volunteer, and he was the love of my life. He was my heart and soul. And he's gone. So, Senator Burr, I have a message for you.
All right.
Stop calling yourself pro-life.
All
That's
right.
right. That's right. Tell it, Leslie.
That's right.
That's right.
Pro-life means you support life after it exits the birth canal.
That's right. That's right.
Pro-life means you pay for premature babies' care.
Yeah.
Pro-life means you support people's health.
That's right.
And you
That's
don't
right.
wait until they get sick.
That's right. That's right. Tell it,
My
Leslie.
son would have cost us about $1,000 a year to do a colonoscopy on him every year. We said no. We then proceeded to let him get sick and sicker. And we spent $1 million on his care before he died.
My.
Tell me how that's fiscally responsible.
That's right. That's right.
It is not.
Not.
As I said, he was my life. I thought my heart would stop when his did. And when it didn't, I got really mad. And I'm still mad.
Yeah.
All right.
Because
That's right.
when he died, there were 45,000 Americans dying every year from lack of access to care.
That's right.
That's one every 12 minutes. If that's what you want to go back to, stop calling yourself pro-life.
That's
Stop
right.
calling yourself
That's right.
Christian.
That's
Stop
right.
calling
That's
yourself
right.
human.
Yeah.
Because you're not.
Tell it, Leslie. Tell it.
That's right.
Vote no. Please, please. Be human. Please, please.
That's right.
Don't gut what little we've got.
That's right.
The Affordable Care Act would have saved my child's life.
That's right.
It has saved tens of thousands of lives.
Yes.
It is not failing. That's a lie.
That's right. Tell it.
It is not failing. It is fine.
Yeah.
Medicaid is not failing. It is fine.
That's right.
Medicare is not failing. It is fine.
That's right.
Stop lying to us. Stop peddling greed and death and hate.
Yeah.
Stand up for what's right just
Yes.
once before you leave
Just
office.
once. Yeah.
Thank you, Leslie. Senator Burr, say no to the repeal. Say no to no to repealing and replacing the
That's right.
Affordable Care Act. Your bill does not work.
That's
the Senate
right.
bill will not work.
That's right.
Right now, we are going to have some spoken word from Larry Barron. And following Larry Barron, Larry is with Word Society, will be Terrence Nivens with Arthur in Action.
Right.
Larry.
All right.
How y'all doing?
All right. Let's go for it.
How y'all doing?
Great. Great.
Okay, here we go. Why won't you help?
Take your hand off the mic.
Why won't you help? Why don't you care? Why is it so easy to overlook us as if we aren't even here? How is this fair? Why won't you help? Why don't you care
Yeah.
about our health? About us enough to ensure that our insurance is for us? How is it that we have veterans who have fought in wars for us that can't even get proper health care and support from us? You know, we the
right.
people, one nation, under God. Why can't we call on our neighbors when times get hard? Do you know how it feels to experience life simply wishing that you had someone else there? Looking to your community leaders like, why won't you help? Why don't you care? Hundreds of thousands without health care in the place we call home. And as a human being, you don't see that as wrong? One
right.
thing the struggle will teach you is how to be strong.
Yeah.
My mother always told me, show them that you care while you're in their presence. Don't wait until they're gone.
That's right. That's
We
right.
have to make a change, and that in itself requires acknowledging when something is wrong,
That's
like
right.
cutting off Medicaid while waiting on the reform. Do you know how many lives have been negatively affected? But you say you're here to help. You tell us that you care. Well, it's time to show and prove. I need our city and state leaders to get up out their chairs. You can say whatever you want, but action dictates difference.
Yes.
You don't leave people.
Yes.
Don't leave people wishing you were never there.
Yes.
Are you really going to help us? Can you prove that you care?
Yeah. All right. There we go. Yeah.
All right.
I am Terrence Raphael Nivens.
All right.
I pay attention to the death of my past. I saw my childhood run circles around me. Into the dirt, I need the earth, the ancestry in these clay hands, so I continue to focus on the sculpture, the crystal, the third eye of an 11-year-old, an age driven by eternity. In the distance, a child in armor walks slowly with the sword.
Yeah.
He is the conqueror, the king, because this city is no longer yours, because every day you're fighting for it without knowing. Artist, we try to regenerate the culture, but we are shot down behind our own lines. In time, I pay for this. The sin of wasted time. I live here, where cigarette butts represent the excuse behind a man. These men look at me with a sense of hopelessness. Yet we gather the will to continue, but in our minds, we struggle to understand one another. In Winston, I see paintings of ghosts. People never forgotten, but just unknown. Blueprints lay on the ground from unfinished projects, like the projects they lay across from our projects.
My God.
I am alive. But can I live?
Yeah.
The city suffocates me, but I try to forgive because art is beautiful. I walk downtown filled with anger and confusion. The boarded up buildings are parallel to the hope, Mr. Burr, that you try to persuade us with. But you You should know this by now, because your voice died long ago. See, I attempted to bring you back through the action of voice, breaking the laws of nature.
Yeah.
I can feel the chill now,
All right.
Speak it.
the cold resistance I get when I truly hear the music coming.
Yeah.
The art. Can you hear it, Mr. Burr? I am breathing.
Yeah. Yeah. Give it to him. Speaking truth to power.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Nivens and Mr. Barron. Now we will have Mr. Charles Wilson, American United for the separation of church and state. Mr. Wilson.
All right.
All right, let's go. Let's go, Mr. Wilson.
Yes. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
My name's Charlie Wilson, as she says.
All right.
I'm 77 years old, and for 12 years, I've had reliable, adequate, reasonably priced health insurance. We call it Medicare.
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, and despite the expected resistance from small government adversaries along the road, Medicare is 52 years old and going strong. So, I have to ask myself, why is there not Medicare for all America?
All right.
That's right.
We have had 52 years of experience
Tell
with
it.
healthcare program,
Tell it.
and I said earlier that was reliable, adequate, and reasonably priced. Why have we not studied, improved, and expanded the health plan we had and have?
Yeah.
Why, after 52 years, have we not joined the other advanced nations of our universe with universal health care?
That's right. Teach,
There is
Charlie.
really no
Teach.
justifiable reason
That's
why
right.
we do not have universal health care.
That's right.
Instead, we are waiting for the Republican-controlled Senate to introduce McConnell's health care scheme after their July the 4th break.
Yeah.
Schemes. That's
Yeah.
a
That,
good word.
if passed, we as a nation will have a health care system that will be worse than before the Affordable Care Act.
All right, go
In
ahead.
10 years, at least 22 million of our fellow citizens will be without health care insurance.
Yeah.
And 1.3 million of those are from North Carolina. Thank you.
He ain't finished.
And I am certain that Medicaid
Yes, sir.
will realize dramatic cuts, and I have no hope that states will provide reasonably priced insurance for pre-existing conditions.
Tell it, Charlie. Tell it.
Millions of families
Yeah.
will have to decide whether to eat or to purchase medication.
Go ahead. Tell the
And
truth.
could face financial ruin
Yeah.
because of the medical cost of catastrophic illness.
That's right.
Even though 55% of the voters in this country are opposed to McConnell's plan and only 30% support the plan, Trump and other Republican leaders, including Senator Richard Burr,
My Lord.
are forging ahead undeterred by public
Sorry.
outcries, by compassion, or by common sense.
My Lord.
Why do we not have universal health care
That's right.
after
Good question.
52 years of Medicare?
Good question. Good question.
There is not the political will. There's
That's
not
right.
the political will to serve the common good rather than provide lavish tax cuts for the wealthiest people
Yeah.
in our nation.
That's right.
Rather than provide money to operate a health system for all people,
That's right.
the money is given to the obscenely wealthy political donors.
Yes.
The present health bill waiting for the Senate vote raises serious economic, quality of
Go
life,
ahead.
compassionate, and as Barbara would say, moral issues.
That's right. That's
We
right.
must let our elected senators, including Burr especially, know this health care is unacceptable
That's right.
and demand a no vote
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
But our real challenge,
Vote no.
but our real challenge has to be maintaining an unrelenting campaign for universal health care,
Yes.
no less than Medicare
Yes.
for all.
Yeah.
Forward together.
Not one step back.
There you go, Charlie. Way to go.
All right.
Thank you, Charlie.
Now, we are going to hear from Sean McMillan, a veteran who will be impacted by the repeal of the Affordable Care Act.
All right.
Mr. Wilson, would you please, McMillan, would you please come forward?
Yeah, speak to us. Speak
Thank
to
you,
us.
thank you.
Take it out. Take it out.
Good evening. Thank you for having me. It is an honor to be here to speak about a topic that I'm deeply moved by, that's healthcare, and a group that I deeply care about, and that's my fellow veterans.
All right.
I'm a retired soldier, a father, a husband, an activist, and a combat veteran. And I'm a North Carolina native.
All right.
I'm proud to speak on behalf of those who may not be able to do so. I hail from the city of Fayetteville, and I had the honor of being stationed at Fort Bragg for the majority of my Army career. While Fort Bragg is home to distinguished units such as the 82nd Airborne Division and the United States Army Special Operations Command, Fayetteville proudly holds the moniker of the All-American City. Fayetteville is home to a growing number of activist organizations
Yes.
who stand in solidarity with you despite geographical distance between
right.
us.
Yeah.
Groups like Cape Fear Indivisible,
Yes.
groups like Together We Will North Carolina, and groups like the
Yes.
Accidental Activists.
Yes.
I want to speak today not only on behalf of those activists, but especially on behalf of the members of our armed forces.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead, Sean.
While those of us who are retired or separated from active duty service are in position to speak out, we must.
That's right.
There are thousands of our brothers and sisters in arms currently serving who are focused on their respective military missions right now.
Yes.
They are in a foxhole with their heads down, as they should be. And they deserve to know that when it's time for them to come home after years of service to this
Yes.
country, they will be able to do so with access to all the aid and tools that their fellow Americans can muster.
That's right. That's right. Yes.
Yes, they deserve that, and I'm proud to stand up to speak on behalf of those service members, veterans, and their families.
Yes.
The BCRA is a Senate health care bill that puts our access to health care in jeopardy in the
That's
long
right.
run. Has many of us wondering where this administration and this Congress is attempting to take this
Go
country.
ahead. Ask the question.
I'm going to ask for some participation. If you can finish this, please do so. Mission first, people
First.
always. Mission first, people
Always.
This is one of the first leadership concepts we learned in the Army. It's based on the shared concept that taking care of people,
That's right.
all members of the unit,
Yeah.
is essential to accomplishing any mission.
That's right.
From the start, we learned that we are best together.
That's right.
As every single soldier feels protected and valued, feels as if their lives and welfare of their family is a unit priority,
All right.
they become, in effect, stakeholders in mission accomplishment.
Yes.
Mission first, people.
Always. Say it again.
Mission first, people.
Always.
So now proposed cuts to Medicaid could impact access to health care for as many as 22 million Americans. According to a recent Congressional Budget Office analysis, this number is particularly alarming when you consider the fact that Medicaid is intended for and utilized by the most vulnerable members of our community,
That's
of our
right.
society.
That's right. Tell it, Sean.
Medicaid benefits millions of low-income elderly,
Yes.
millions of pregnant women,
Yes.
My God.
Lord,
millions of people with disabilities,
Yes. Yes. Talk, Sean.
and let's not forget millions of children.
Yeah. That's right.
Yes, these are the most vulnerable members of our society. Mission first, people.
Always.
Any Ranger qualified veteran can recall the experience of reciting the Ranger Creed prior to meals in the woods of Fort Benning, the mountains of North Georgia, or the swamps of Florida. Their ability to recite the Ranger Creed is directly tied to how fast they're able to eat their meals.
All right. All right.
It's important to a hungry Ranger. Their ability to accomplish their mission is tied directly to how they embody the words of the Ranger Creed. The third stanza of the Ranger Creed starts, "Never shall I fail my comrades."
All right.
Later in the Ranger Creed, we see the phrase, "Never shall I leave a fallen comrade."
Tell it. Tell it.
Our most vulnerable veterans, unfortunately, fall victim to a new set of enemies
That's right.
after leaving service.
That's right. Tell it.
Enemies like heart disease.
Yes.
Enemies like mental health disorders.
That's right.
Enemies like cancer,
Yeah.
substance abuse and addiction,
Yes.
and enemies like PTSD.
Wow. Lord have mercy.
Believe it or not, after years of service, a trained veteran feels more comfortable closing with and destroying the enemy than facing even one of these enemies that they face when they get home. Mission first, people.
Always.
To our North Carolina senators, Tom Tillis, and especially you, Senator Richard Burr, we're calling on you to reject the current Senate health care bill on behalf of the veterans you represent.
That's right.
Don't turn your back on us, because all of us are watching.
Yeah. That's right. That's right.
If you cannot adequately represent us, your constituents, we will swiftly replace you with representatives who can.
All right. That's right.
Mission first, people.
Always.
Don't ever buy into the idea that we can truly prosper as a nation while leaving an increasing number of its people behind.
That's right. Tell it, Sean.
Don't ever forget that our people are our greatest asset.
Yes.
And that an investment in long-term health for all of us
Yes.
is putting stock in the greatest kind of capital. That's human capital.
That's right.
Mission first, people.
Always.
Mission first, people.
Always.
Mission first, people.
Always.
Thank you. Thank you for your time.
All right. Yeah. All right. No health care, no peace. 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 No health care, no peace.
Senator Burr, you're MIA for your constituents in North Carolina. We need to see you.
That's right.
Do we have to send Sean to find you?
All right.
On a mission.
That's all right.
You're missing. You're MIA. Next, we'll hear from Wanda Cooker, Fight for 15, and she's an impacted person. And following her, we have a speaker, Dr. Wesley Sue, that's willing to speak out against the repeal of the Affordable Care Act.
Yeah.
Wanda?
Yeah. Come on up, Doc.
My name is Wanda Coker, and I'm a leader with Fight for 15. I'm here because I have a 2-year-old granddaughter who deserves a better future.
That's right, yeah.
I'm here because being able to afford good health care coverage is a life or death issue.
That's right.
Right now, I'm in stage 5 kidney failure, and found out dialysis costs approximately $60,000 a year. The first year cost of a kidney transplant and the first year of maintenance medication is about $800,000. I'm just coming out of bankruptcy because of medical bills. Like 67% of Americans who filed bankruptcy last year. In this country, no one should have to decide whether to put food on the table or fill a prescription.
That's right. Tell it.
No one should have to suffer in silence and in pain because they can't afford to be sick.
That's right.
We still need Senator Burr to support and pass legislation that helps communities in North Carolina not punish us for being poor.
That's right.
Senator Burr must do whatever he can to ensure that all our grandchildren have a bright and healthy future.
Right.
Dr. Sue.
Well, I want to thank everybody so much for coming. This is fantastic. There's so many people here protesting the cruelty, the absolute cruelty that is the House and Senate proposals to repeal and replace Obamacare.
Tell it, Doc, tell it.
Cruelty. I can tell you as a provider that so many of my patients get the life-saving treatments they need, the surgeries that they need because of Medicaid and Obamacare.
That's right.
There's not a whole lot to like about what we see from the Senate and House bills, not much at all. But there is one thing that we can see that I think is a positive, and that it really does show us the contrast between the values that progressives and conservatives have with respect to health care. There's one value that I really want to focus on, and that value is compassion.
That's right. Tell it.
As a physician early on, they taught us how important compassion is to take care of our patients. And we just have compassion for our patients. We have compassion for that mother who brings in a beautiful boy or girl into this world, so perfect except for that congenital heart defect.
That's right.
That's going to cripple this family with millions in healthcare costs, surgeries for this kid. The only reason that this kid can get surgery is either if their parents are employed or if they have Medicaid.
That's right.
We have compassion for that 45-year-old woman who thought she beat breast cancer. Had mastectomies 2 years ago or 5 years ago. She comes in the ER with back pain.
Go ahead.
And it finds out that breast cancer is spread to her spine.
Lord have mercy.
All right. And I have to take some of these patients to the operating room every once in a while, and they get surgeries and radiation and chemotherapy afterwards. You know what? Sometimes they might meet that $1 million cap or whatever nonsense that these people are proposing.
Lord have mercy.
We can't have people worrying about meeting their caps.
That's right. Tell it, Doc.
We need cancer patients to focus on getting better. To making sure that the rest of their lives, however long it may be, is filled with happiness and family, and not worried about crippling bills and sending their family into bankruptcy.
That's right.
Compassion. This is what progressives have, and this is something that we see is firmly lacking in our conservative colleagues.
Yes.
So I invite Senator Burr and Senator Tillis to come speak with us in a town hall. Talk to the constituents, the patient advocacy groups, and the provider advocacy groups. There's not a single one that I've seen that has come out in favor of these horrible bills.
That's right.
So I just want to leave with one thing. Senator Bill and Senator Tillis always talk about how Washington fails to listen to us.
Go ahead.
To listen to North Carolinians. All right. Well, I invite them to come and talk to us and listen to us. Nobody in North Carolina wants this bill. Nobody.
That's right.
And I want them to say, if they want to vote for these bills, then I want them to say it to our faces.
That's right.
Thank you so much.
Compassion is the essence of the human spirit. We're waiting on your RSVP, Senator Burr and Tillis, to a town hall so we can talk and listen, and you can explain why you're voting no to repeal and replace the Affordable Care Act. Right now, we're going to hear a powerful spoken word by Reverend Demi McCoy and Antonio Radley. Would you please come forward?
Hashtag, I am a pre-existing condition.
All right, go ahead. Talk about it.
Hashtag, I can't breathe.
Go ahead.
Hashtag, say her name.
All right, go ahead.
All of these hashtags. But who am I to actually blame for my dream deferred?
Go ahead.
Because how can I chase the dreams that I prefer when I've witnessed to horrific scenes that have occurred? Can't they see how I'm disturbed? Terrorized and stirred by polarizing atrocities. Majority media manipulated monopoly. What happens when we grow tired of the dichotomies?
Go ahead, girl.
The privileged perpetrator, depraved victim monstrosities, how dangerous it is for us to buy into this either-or philosophy.
Yes, sir.
Because if someone is always rich, to your poor, or woman to your man, or black to your white, or queer to your heteronormativity,
Tell it.
then how can their complex subjectivity ever be reclaimed?
That's right.
Where will the intricacy and fluidity of intersectionality break loose of its frame, be restored to the expansiveness of its flame, wholly ignited and untamed? See, we must unite and state new claims and make new gains, because after a while it's quite disheartening to have a pattern of hashtag rest in peace, insert name.
That's right. Go ahead.
Hashtag pray for, insert name. Hashtag justice for, insert name. And yet we keep on creating hashtags in hopes that bodies don't decease in vain, in hopes that we can make a change for you and I.
Tell it.
Because the revolution will not be televised.
That's right.
No, the revolution will be tweeted, live, social media contextualized. The revolution will not be minimized. It'll be proliferated and magnetized, where we begin to elevate and mobilize and realize our need for social justice. For a restorative nexus of love and equity, where activism and faith successfully work together to carve a space in which people are no longer debased according to their gender, sexuality, age, religion, ability, social class, or race.
Go ahead.
So go ahead. Hashtag away. Hashtag healthcare is a human right. Hashtag yes, all women. Hashtag Black Lives Matter. Hashtag. Until social oppression is shattered. And let us not just stop with internet chatter. No. Let us not just pray in these moments, but let us make way for the movement. Let our history become the blueprint in which unity and peace is always the solution to inadequate institutions. Let us take a stand until systemic exclusion no longer exists.
That's right.
And may the hashtags of resolutions be the ones that are forever heard from our lips. And if you are so inclined, then please riddle me this. What good will we make of justice tomorrow if the justice of today is as good as it gets?
Lord,
It's gonna be hard to top that.
Very hard. Go ahead, little brother. Do that Mendez thing.
My family says that I'm forgetful, that I have about 1,000 things on my mind at one time, so much that the road runner is running circles through it and the coyote isn't present, so I need to use my phone for more than Instagram and Snapchat.
All right.
Hashtag. So note to self, June the 1st. Today is your grandmother's birthday. Don't forget to wish her a happy birthday. You know how she gets when you forget. Note to self, June the 5th. Don't forget to wash the dishes that are in the sink. Note to self, June the 8th. This will be the third day that you forgot to wash the dishes that were in the sink. Do not forget, for your own sake, June the 15th. On this day, I was in the passenger seat as my mother got pulled over by a police officer. And in that moment, I began to foresee like my hair, I saw headlines. Mother arrested for the third time, and by chance she do die, she did not commit suicide, I know that.
That's right.
My brain then morphed into a time machine and went back 2 years to a Sandra Bland case in which she still hasn't had the time to rest in peace, and I wonder what the grave feel about that situation.
All right.
I was so tempted to get out of the vehicle and scream, please, officer, don't make her another statistic dying in police custody. I beg you, for her forgetfulness, I promise the next time she'll turn on the left lane signal switch. I looked in her eyes and saw her anger transform into subduction, realizing in this fight she'll never win, thinking that maybe if she show a bit more of her brown skin, it would switch from a curse into a privilege. She knew how to be a black woman in the hood before she realized that she was black, a woman, or in the hood. She sure knew how to code switch. From black girl in the projects to secretary in the projects, back straight, firm look but never not smile, battered eyes just like the stars. Maybe he'll get lost in them, forget that he can do just about anything. To her or to me, just maybe,
Tell it, bro.
he's a nice cop.
Yes.
He won't kill us, make me like roadkill. I don't want to be a Michael Brown case in Winston. Close. I then move my hands from my sides to the overhead department. 45 degrees from hands up, don't shoot, just in case that's the last posture I ever see in my lifetime. I dropped my phone. I didn't want him to mistake it as a gun. At that moment, everything in my head screamed, run. Faster than lightning runs from its own sound. It doesn't want to be a part of this storm, and neither does I. I guess I had the fears of thousands of black ghosts possessing my insides. The ones who never had a chance to run or hide, just wanted me to live for another second, Harriet.
was in me.
All right.
I felt it. Felt her passageway from the plantation to the promised land morph into Cherry Street to Renault Road. At least I'd be safe there.
That's right.
If not happy.
Yeah.
I see this happen all the time on TV. Police officer approaches the vehicle with a blank face, probably too scared to even smile, but he, out of all people, should know that that is a survival mechanism in the hood. A silent agreement promising our survival, but I guess he don't. I guess the only signs that he know are signals coming from vehicles approaching like storms.
Yeah.
I mean, he don't even realize that he is the elephant in the room and we are the mice in the hole. His fear makes no sense.
Yeah, tell
And
the
then he
truth.
blankly
Tell
asks for license and registration. The person gets it, hands it to him. The rest is the future past the protest. So note to self, when you pull up to the window and he pulls off, type into Google search, who do you call when the cop is the criminal?
All right. Yeah.
Wow. Hashtag Senator Burr. Vote no to repeal and replace.
That's right.
We will now have two very powerful speakers. Our first speaker will be Derek Smith. He's a healthcare advocate and the political action chair for the North Carolina State Conference of the NAACP. He will be followed by our health chair for the North Carolina NAACP, another powerful speaker, Dr. Rodney Sattler.
All right. Yeah. Go ahead.
All right.
Okay, I was asked to speak on behalf of veterans as well, so I brought my brother Sean back up. How many veterans do we have out here? We got veterans? Okay. All right. Now I want to dispel, it's not really a myth, it's just something that not a lot of people know. A lot of people think that all veterans are eligible for medical care through the VA system, but that's not true.
Tell the truth.
If you haven't served for 2 years, or if you have no service-connected disability or injury or illness, you may not qualify.
All right.
So that means that you got to look at the numbers of veterans who are eligible for Medicare or for Medicaid. That number is about 43% of veterans are eligible for Medicaid. So when you don't expand Medicaid, you're also hurting veterans, right?
All right.
Okay, so a lot of people just believe that there's this healthcare system that's out there for veterans. The Center for American Progress, Sean, has said in one of their reports that by 2022, all veterans over the age of 19, that total number of 459,500 veterans will lose coverage.
My Lord. No.
That's under the Senate plan.
My God. No.
The House plan was 441,000. So the Senate, 13 senators ago behind closed doors, get together and decide that the House plan wasn't genocidal enough.
That's right.
And then came out with a plan which is more brutal to veterans after President Trump promised to take care of Medicaid and to take care of the veterans.
That's right.
So these numbers should have everybody in an uproar.
That's right. Yeah.
The other part about this, and I'll close on this, I don't want to be too long, I'm a professor, so bear with me. The plans that are out there, once they're reconciled, and once we lose Medicaid, just here in North Carolina by 2022, 27,000 veterans in North Carolina will lose Medicaid. That's just Medicaid. This does not include the veterans who wouldn't have qualified for Medicaid in the first place. Many of them don't qualify under the Affordable Care Act, and those numbers by 2026 could be as high as 1.7 million. Now, it's funny how that number mirrors the number 1.7 million that are estimated that are veterans that are in this hole right now. So what we're finding out is that regardless of the rhetoric that's coming out of the House of Representatives and the Senate, there's absolutely no love for the veterans. Now, And when you repeal, remember they're saying they want to repeal the law.
Yeah, yeah.
If you repeal the Affordable Care Act, that means that you're also taking away a protection against pre-existing conditions.
That's right. Yeah, that's right.
Which means that veterans who are returning
That's right.
from combat,
Yeah.
who have disabilities because of their combat service, or who have PTSD,
Yeah.
who are amputees and who are now disabled, can also be denied Medicaid.
Heck of a way to
under
say
the-
thank you for your service, huh?
Yes.
So we want to call on, and Sean and I stand in the gap for all veterans who can't stand for themselves. And we want to stand in the gap and make the claim that this is wrong. And we want to ask Senator Burr to stand down on repealing the Affordable
that's
Care
right.
Act and stand up for something right.
Yeah.
And extend Medicaid.
Thank you. We could at least say thank you to our veterans. At least let them have a decent health care when they come back after serving us, all of us, including Senator Burr. Where are you? You're still MIA. I'm going to send my veterans to find you. Dr. Sadler.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Jesus said long ago in John chapter 14:27, "Peace I leave with you, my peace I give to you." When Jesus talked about peace, he was using that ancient Hebrew word, shalom. And Rabbi Gutman will tell you too that the word shalom doesn't just mean peace from war.
Yeah.
It doesn't just mean peace and quiet.
Yeah.
It means wholeness.
That's
it
right.
means that your community is whole.
That's right.
It means that your people are whole.
Yes.
And it also means that your body is whole.
Yes.
You see, what Jesus was talking about health care
Yeah,
for all
yeah,
people.
yeah, tell it.
That's
tell
why
it.
Jesus walked around healing the sick.
That's right.
Because he wanted all people to be made whole.
Yeah.
That's why Jesus was concerned about all people with their physical and mental illnesses.
That's right.
Because Jesus wanted people to be made whole.
Yeah,
You see,
yeah.
God wants everybody to be made whole.
That's right. That's
Health
right.
care is a human right. Say it with me. Health care is a human right. And standing against health care is standing against God.
That's right. That's right. Tell it. Tell
So
it.
why would we want to repeal the ACA?
Yeah.
Why would we want to take health care away from 22 to 30 million American people?
That's right. Tell it.
Why would we want to make sure that people that now have this protection would lose it?
Why?
Why would we ever stand against health care?
Yeah.
If you want to do something, don't stand against the ACA, protect the ACA.
Yeah.
If you think the ACA is not enough, then stand for expanded and improved Medicare for
That's
all.
right. Yeah.
HR 676.
That's right.
You see, Trump care kills.
Yes.
Trump care is not a Republican ideology.
That's right.
Lincoln was a Republican.
That's right. Teach.
Healthcare is not a conservative ideology.
Teach.
Dr. William Barber is a conservative.
Yeah.
Healthcare is an ALEC agenda.
That's right. Teach.
Healthcare is an evil agenda.
That's right. Yeah.
Healthcare should be protected by all people. Trump care should be resisted.
That's
Amen.
Right. That's right. That's right.
Trump care will kill.
That's
it
right.
will kill premature babies. Trump care will kill epileptic cousins.
Yes.
Trump care will kill hardworking fathers with heart conditions.
Yes.
Trump care will kill hardworking grandmothers with brain cancer. Trump care will kill
Go ahead.
hardworking mothers with breast cancer.
Yes.
You see, Trump care will kill.
It will kill.
And we need to protect human life.
Yes. Yes.
This is really not about politics.
That's right.
This is really not about just what we think of as right and wrong.
Go ahead.
This is about life or death.
Right. That's right.
I've had to bury a friend who would be here today were it not for the fact that we never expanded Medicaid.
My Lord.
500,000 North Carolinians are still exposed.
Yes.
Can you imagine what North Carolina will look like with 1.3 million that are left in the cold if we pass Trump care?
My.
This is not about political decisions. This is about protecting human life. Say it with me. Protect human life.
Protect human life.
Mr. Burr, protect human life.
Mr. Burr, protect human life.
Mr. Tillis, protect human life.
Mr. Tillis, protect human life.
The way I see it, you can either stand with ALEC, you can stand with your Republican counterparts,
teach.
or you can stand with God
and with the hardworking people of the state of North Carolina. Where will you stand, Mr. Burr? Where will you stand, Mr. Tillis?
That's right.
As I go, I just want to say this with me. Protect the ACA.
Protect the ACA.
Expand Medicaid now.
Expand Medicaid now.
And expand improved Medicare for all.
Expand improved Medicare for all.
This is about human lives, and we all want to make sure that all God's children are protected. Amen?
Right. Amen.
Forward together.
Not one step
Forward
back.
together.
Not one step back.
Woo.
Yes, sir.
Good preaching.
We are not here just to talk and not have action. We have an open letter to our MIA senator that's going to be read by Reverend Alvin Carlisle, the president of the Winston-Salem branch of the NAACP. He will be followed by our call to action and Reverend Dr. T. Anthony Spearman, the president of the North Carolina Councils of Churches and the third vice president for the North Carolina NAACP State Conference, will give our call to action. Reverend Carlisle and then Dr. Spearman.
Yeah! Let's go, Carlisle. Yes, sir.
Honorable Richard Burr, United States Senate. On behalf of the North Carolina State Conference of the NAACP branches, we again request your presence at a meeting with your constituents about the Senate's wealth or health care plan. You have rejected our petitions to support two highly qualified black women nominees to become judges on the federal court in eastern North Carolina, where the majority of African slaves worked the plantations in the Carolina Delta for 2 centuries and struggled under Jim Crow for a 3rd century. You refuse to restore the Voting Rights Act, forcing us to file several successful lawsuits that made North Carolina the laughingstock of the world because of its race-based voter laws. Instead of the high regard it used to have as the best state in the old Confederacy.
That's right.
Now you are ready to vote to repeal the Affordable Care Act. That's the non-racialized name for Obamacare, in case you have become so used to adopting the racialized rhetoric your party has normalized.
That's right.
It is evident your party has no valuable ideas for replacing it when you were staring up millions of poor and working people to be against it. Because it had your favorite black scapegoat's name on it.
That's right.
The public policies you and your colleagues espouse are counter to the teachings of Jesus, the Pope, the Bible, and your father. I still believe you know in your heart millions of people have lost their moral bearings because of this campaign against a black president.
Yes, sir. That's right.
Instead of racism, poverty, and extremism, militarism, which has eaten away at the American soul, President Obama's audacious experiment to ask all Americans to share the cost of health care in the richest country in the world definitely needs some new ideas. Have you no ideas other than to push nearly 1.8 North Carolinians off of Medicaid into the seas of despair?
All right.
Again, we ask you to call our office and arrange a meeting. We have only crying and hungry babies. We have only sick, disabled veterans and old people struggling in nursing homes who will die lonely deaths sooner because of your heartless policies your colleagues propose. You pick the time, place, format, but please do not disrespect us again. We will secure the largest church in Winston and hold a Burrless town hall featuring a large cardboard cutout of you, afraid to meet the people you propose to support, to propose to represent. I speak for all your constituents when I say we would rather have you there. Please bring a copy of your U.S. Senator health care bill to the town hall.
That's right. That's right.
We will certainly have a copy for all to see if you decide not to come.
All right.
This will be a place to start a national discussion for a health care plan for all the people.
Yes.
We need your response by 12 p.m. this Friday, July 14th, 2017. Yours in justice and truth, Reverend Dr. William J. Barber, President, North Carolina NAACP, National NAACP Board Member, Reverend Alvin Carlisle, President, Winston-Salem NAACP. Forward together.
11 o'clock on Friday. 11 o'clock on Friday.
1.8 million North Carolinians, amen, off of Medicare.
All right. There we go. That's all. Earl.
We have heard from persons who have been impacted, and we just heard from our president of the State Conference of Branches of the North Carolina NAACP through the letter that was read to us by the president of the Winston-Salem branch. I don't want anyone to accuse me of implicit bias.
All right, go ahead.
That's why I asked Leka Shupak to stand next to me, because she holds in her hands what is the favorite poster for me today.
All right.
Show it, Leka. Where is Senator Burr, who is dressed like the clown he is?
All right.
Certainly, it doesn't take a rocket scientist nor a spiritual guru to discern that the health of a nation is predicated on the healthiness of its populace.
That's right.
And it just seems logical to me that among the most basic physiological needs of human beings, that is food, water, warmth, and rest,
that's right,
that there is a foundation upon which health care for all ought to be built.
Yes.
Universal health care. There is a senator who is missing in the United States.
Tell it.
Senator Burr has said no to 2 black women being on federal courts in eastern North Carolina.
That's right.
Shame on Senator Burr.
Shame on you, Burr.
Senator Burr has said no to restoring the Voting Rights Act. Shame on Senator Burr. Senator Burr is now saying no to health care and trying to repeal the Affordable Care Act. Shame on you, Senator Burr. The very citizens who are beneficiaries of the best health care this nation has to offer seek to legislate one of the worst health care laws imaginable.
Tell it.
In short, this is an abuse of human rights. To consider snatching health care and health coverage from 22 million Americans, especially older, low-income adults, is an abuse of human rights.
That's right.
To consider slashing Medicaid funding by 26% is an abuse of human rights. To consider raising premiums by 20% next year and hiking them up each year thereafter is an abuse of human rights. And to consider providing $541 billion in tax breaks to the wealthy, I said to the wealthy, is an abuse of human rights. Have we elected officials who know absolutely nothing about human rights?
Yes. Yes.
I respond an unconcerted yes.
Yes.
We have.
Yes.
And it's time for us to get them out.
Get them out
of office.
Get them out.
And we have to do it now.
Get them out now.
Right now.
Get them out
as
now.
soon as possible.
Yes.
We need to vote them out.
Out.
Push them out.
Yes.
And keep them out.
Keep them out now.
Do you all agree with that?
Yes.
And let's get them out.
Get them
we
out.
have to get to the polls
Yes.
and push them out now.
Now.
As soon as possible.
As soon as possible.
Register and vote.
There's one text in a book that I've grown fond of that tells a human rights story. It's the story of a man who got beat up pretty badly,
Go ahead, tell the story.
Rabbi Gutman,
Tell the story.
and was left half dead by the side of the road.
Lord have mercy.
To make a long story short, two religious types.
Go ahead.
They could have been me and could have been Rabbi Gutman. Two of us saw the man's conditions and crossed the street to keep from dealing with the man.
Yeah, go ahead.
But finally,
Yeah.
the man's mortal enemy saw the man,
Go ahead. Go ahead.
got down off of his high horse,
Yes.
and went and attended to the man.
That's right.
And had pity on the man.
That's right.
And he became the health care plan that man desperately needed.
Yes, go ahead.
We are in a crowd of folks who desperately need a health care plan.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Senator Burr won't give it to us.
That's right. Go
Senator
ahead.
Tillis won't give it to us.
That's right.
We have to find somebody among us who is willing to get down off of their high horse and to attend to the ones who are in need. Veterans need health care. Women need health care. Mothers need health care. Children need health care. We all need health care. The call to action deals with a letter that each one of you can sign here today, fill out and sign here today, and we can assure you that they will be delivered
Yes, sir.
to Senator Richard Burr.
Yes.
This guy with the nice hat. I have filled out one myself, and mine says, Dear Senator Burr, my name is T. Anthony Spearman, and I am from Greensboro. Senator Burr, instead of repealing the ACA, Affordable Care Act, I ask that you fight to expand health care.
Yes.
Denying nearly 1 million North Carolinians health care is not the North Carolina way.
That's right.
The Affordable Care Act has saved the life of many Americans, including myself.
Yeah.
Because, and this is my testimony, I am the pastor of a small church that cannot afford to provide health care coverage for me.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
With all of my pre-existing conditions,
Go ahead, brother.
Reverend
Tell the
Kojo,
truth. Yes, sir.
they probably wouldn't want to.
I know that's right.
But
Go
that's
ahead.
not the point.
Yes.
The point is that I do not have health care coverage
All right.
that can sustain me for such a time as this.
That's right.
Senator Burr, we implore you,
Yes, sir.
don't say no
Don't say
to
no.
repealing the Affordable Care Act.
Yes.
Don't say
No.
Say yes.
Say yes. Say yes. Say yes.
Say yes.
Say yes.
To the Affordable Care Act.
Yes. Yes. Say yes.
It's a hot day and we're old guys.
We need you to raise your hands if you need a form to fill out. And fill that form out, and we'll get that form to the right hands. Tyler, Jasmine, Yolanda will gather those up, and they will be delivered to Senator Richard Burr.
Yeah.
Thank you all for being here. You're one of the most beautiful sights I've seen all day long.
Yeah, that's right.
And we thank you all for being here.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Dr. Spearman. Thank you for that beautiful call to action. Not only are we calling on Senator Burr to meet with his constituents and explain his actions, but read the testimony from his constituents on how the Affordable Care Act has saved lives.
Yes.
So don't be shy. Tell your story. The story is the word.
That's right. That's right.
Give it to our MIA senator, and hopefully he will respond. Senator Burr, you wouldn't talk to us.
Yeah.
You wouldn't let us in your office, but you responded to the Winston-Salem Journal that you told your constituents that your vote would be to repeal and replace Obamacare. I say to you, as a person who stands with a pre-existing condition and a citizen of Winston-Salem, would you please vote to hold up the Affordable Care Act?
Yeah, that's right. That's
we
right.
don't need for you to repeal and not replace.
That's
and
right.
we don't need for you to repeal and replace.
Yes.
We all need health care. Actually, I'd like your health care.
Yeah, that's
that
right.
you have.
That's right.
That every senator has.
Yeah.
That's what I would like. And I'm sure all of us out here would like the same.
That's right. Yes.
Right now, our closing prayer is going to come from Rabbi Gutman of Greensboro.
It's going to be a long one.
Wait. Listen, I want everybody right now, take out your cell phone. Take out your cell phone. I'm going to give you a number. Okay? This is very serious. The Dubno Rebbe said we should pray as if everything depends upon God, but act as though everything depends on us.
That's right.
Now you're going to take this number and you're going to put it in your phone. Because with this number, you can reach any senator. You can reach any congressman in the United States Congress. And tomorrow or tonight, you're going to leave a message on that phone. Okay?
Yeah.
Even if there's no one in the office, that you're going to leave a message saying, we were here on behalf of the people of North Carolina.
That's right.
We are not going to go back to a situation where there's 47 million people without health care.
That's right.
We're
That's
not
right.
going to go back to a situation where we callously throw 22 million people off of health care.
That's right.
Write this number down. 202. Can you say that after me?
202.
Good. 224. 31. 21. 202-224-3121. Try it on your way home. Just don't text while you're driving. Listen, this is the message. I have nothing more profound to say than what has already been said here today.
Right.
But we're not, folks, going back. We're
That's
not going back to the point where women have to make a choice. Do I go to get this mammography for this lump in my breast, or do I wait because I can't afford it?
That's right.
We're
That's
not.
right.
We're not going back there,
We're not
baby.
going back.
No,
No,
and we're
not
not
going
going back to a
Not going back.
situation
That's right.
where a man feels a chest pain and he can't go to a cardiologist, and then 2 weeks later he's dead, leaving
That's
a
right.
bunch of kids behind.
That's right.
Okay? We're not going back to that situation, because the ultimate question for us, for every single one of us today as Americans, is who we are.
That's right.
Are we a bunch of individuals,
Yes.
or are we a community?
That's right.
And if we're a community, when you're sick, I'm hurting.
That's right.
Okay? And when
Tell it,
I'm
tell
sick,
it.
you're hurting.
Yes.
And if we're a community, I care about you, and you care about me.
Yes.
And I look at you and I say, there's my brother. And you look at me and says, there's my sister. And I look at my brother. And then I look at you and say, there's my sister. Okay? That's
right.
what it means.
That's right.
That's what it means. Okay? Because it could be, if someone else is sick today, that tomorrow, who could it be?
That's right.
It could be you and
That's
me.
right. That's
It could be you and me. So I'm going to end with the following idea. Okay, this is my and then just a brief word of prayer. Okay, the attempt to throw all these people off of health care is nothing short of a moral disaster.
That's right.
Okay,
Teach.
Jews and Christians, I think almost every religion believes that human beings are created in God's image.
That's right.
So now I want you to be nice and repeat the following words after me. Being human.
Being human
is the ultimate.
Is the ultimate
precondition.
precondition.
Okay, you got that? Being human is the ultimate precondition.
That's right.
So we ask that God will guide our steps, that God will fill the hearts of the senators and the congressmen and the elected officials with compassion, that God will help them to understand, okay, that we're all in this together.
That's right.
And that we all deserve God's blessing, because not only am I created in God's image, but you are as well.
That's
May
right.
God guide our steps and strengthen our stance. Every child by child, every elderly person by every elderly person, every sick person by every sick person, we will provide health care that they deserve in this country.
That's right.
Amen.
Yeah.
What do we want? Health care. When do we want it? Now. What do we want? Health care. When do we want it? Now. What do we want? Health care. When do we want it? Now. What do we want? Health care. When do we want it? Now. What do we want? Health care. When do we want it? Now. What do we want? Health care. When do we want it? Now. What do we want? Health care. When do we want it? Now.
Thank everybody for coming. Go home and keep up the pressure.
Make your
letters,
phone calls.
make your phone calls, make your tweets. Keep it going. Thank you.
Forward together.
Now, one step back.
Walked off.